Hello, this is Kim Nelson doing another video on drawing faceted stones, doing technical drawings of faceted stones to proper proportions. The last few videos we set up for the round brilliant. Now I'm going to do a marquee-shaped diamond. Not a marquee, sorry. I'll be doing a pear-shaped diamond. So I'm going to move these out of the way using my trusty grid snap, and come up here and start fresh. I'm going to do a 6x4. Actually, let's do a 7x5. So, a 7x5, start with drawing a circle, drawing the top view, starting in the center. Do one circle that is 5. Do one circle that is 7. Just making sure. Okay. Going to move the circle that is 7 from quadrant to quadrant. I'm going to split this circle halfway from quadrant to quadrant with a straight line. I'm going to do extend by arc to point, curve, extend curve, arc to point, to quad. And I'm going to also split this down the middle. I'll just go ahead and trim it. So that's half of my pear. Going to rebuild that curve because it's 2 pieces. And to get a nice smooth arc here, I'm going to need about 12 points. Turn on my curve graph. Turn on my control points. Take a look at what I've got. I'm going to go ahead and mirror this over with history. Turn on the points and do some modifications. See if I can't make it a little nicer. Now it's really important that this be straight across the top. It looks really smooth. But to make sure it's smooth, I'm going to take this point, enter, point snap, put it on top of this point, repeat the command, and then drag it back out with Shift key so that I'm sure that I have a nice straight relationship. And that'll give me a nice smooth top. Okay, last thing I want to do is verify that I didn't lose significant width in doing that, so I'll draw a reference circle again at 5 millimeters. Looks like there is a little bit. It's gotten narrower, so I'm going to show you how to get a reference point on this organic form that you can use to snap to that ellipse. The way I'm going to do it is I'm going to mirror this half of the stone up. Might as well join these together. And I'm going to do a straight line tangent to 2 curves. Tap one curve, tap the other curve, and it will draw a line segment that comes straight down. Where these 2 intersect, curve from object intersection, that is the widest point on this curve. Okay, I want to now non-uniform scale this so it's exactly the same width as this. So non-uniform scale starting in the center. I want quad and point snap. Grab the point, grab the quad. Nothing here, nothing there. And now I know that that stone is truly 7 by 5. Okay, so now I need to draw the table for the stone. Tables are 53% of the diameter. So I'm going to scale that table, that girdle, I should say. Copy option, yes. 0.53. But you can see that that does not give me an equal distance all the way around because the scale is not the same as the offset. So I'm going to make that into a reference color and go ahead and offset this curve through point. And I'm going to drag out a circle, or a pear shape, I'm sorry, that it's a compromise. That basically captures the spirit of this. It's a little longer, a little narrower, but it follows the actual shape of the girdle. I am going to need to have proportions, so I'm going to go ahead and make my proportion reference circles by using scale, copy yes. This 5mm circle I'm going to scale 0.162 and 0.431, just like a round brilliant, but it is based off of the minor diameter, the smaller dimension. Put these away for now. I can now delete that reference diameter. Pop this point out, right click, divide by number of segments. I don't want the seam there, I want the seam at the point. So drag the seam around, drag the seam around. Hit enter to accept, and 16. Just like so. I do want a midline. So here to here, offset this curve through point mid, and this should also be divided into 16. Okay, now I can start drawing. I'm going to draw my table first. With a pear shape, it's very important that you have a bezel facet at the point. And from here you can plot the rest of your star facets. You can draw your table every other point, basically connecting the hips of the star facets. Now, my instinct tells me that this is a little too small, but I'm going to live with it. Just keep going. Bezel facets. aligned seams on the upper girdle facets. And now the girdle. Okay. To make my life simple, I'm going to go ahead and draw the bottom view while I'm here. So I'll copy this over. Now, drawing the bottom for this, it's the same idea. I'm going to draw, these are no longer useful, no longer useful, no longer useful. Once again, the only thing I can really keep is the girdle. I will draw a reference line straight down the middle. Now, it does leave us a question as to where the culet is. The culet really isn't up in here. The culet is going to be a little bit lower. It's going to once again be where that fullest part of the stone feels like, which is about there. And if I separate this in half, curve, offset curve, through point, so it's going to want to put it quite close down. In reality, it's going to be about the same as the round. It's going to be about there. So to draw my bottom facets, I have the point of my main, hip of my main point. Sorry, got ahead of myself. So, same thing down here. So, and then every other girdle facet here. Okay, I'm going to have to pause for a moment because I am being challenged by the number on here. Ah. Okay, so I can't, because this is not a symmetrical curve, I can't offset it like I did the other. That's why. So instead, I'm going to borrow the smooth pear shape. It is not faceted. Bring it over and offset it. To the same rough distance. And then divide this. By 16. And now I should be able to draw. And the seams for the upper girdle facets. Don't need that anymore. Going to go ahead and mirror. Actually, don't need to mirror those two, because they're in the middle. Delete, delete, and select points and delete. So now we have top and bottom. So girdle line, construction lines, going to do anything that's in front of the wider part of the stone. So yeah, that's the widest point right there. And actually, what I want right now are the table facets. So first thing I want to do is move my guide in position and offset through point to get a table line. And then draw my reference, my construction plane, construction curves, construction lines. Here to here, here to here, here to here, and so on. And that's the widest point of the table. So clean up. A couple of construction lines down to the girdle. Establish a center line for elevation. And see, now it becomes more difficult because the only true straight line I can plot is the one right here in front. And it's hard to find any one space that's going to be accurate because this is coming around. It's not going to give you a true center line. Closest thing I can come. I'm trying to solve this problem as I'm talking. So split that like so. And draw a construction line from here to here. Because we have a full plane from table to girdle, we're not going to be able to reflect that same bump that is so typical of diamonds. Okay, draw some facets. I'm going to need some more construction lines. Mirror over. I need to have the intersection points with these halfway line. Actually going to move this out of the way. Mirror them over. And construction lines coming down to the table. This one we already have. So for this star, here, here, there, and then the next star. There are my stars across the front. And then down to the girdle. This I already have. Seam line. And mid. Okay. I'm not going to have time to keep going with this. I have other things I've got to get to. But I think this should show you a good example of how you would go about drawing stone like this. And here are the seam lines. And that would be the front view of this stone. Okay, I'm going to have to call it quits for now. Look forward to seeing you in class. Thanks for watching.